What's going on, everyone? Welcome to Season Gaming Bitcast, our 2025 holiday edition. It is another fine Sunday before Christmas, Sunday during Hanukkah. And, we're here, we're hanging out, we're ready to talk about 2025 and the hell of a year of gaming it was. So, I'm here with my boys, the Thai guy himself, wide awake this morning. You're actually alert. What's going on? Get some sleep last night?
I'm done with my reviews for the year, so I
Okay.
can go to sleep whenever I want on like a normal human, which I did. I went to bed at like 2, which
Okay.
doesn't sound very long because that was like 5 hours ago, but it's a long time for me. Let me
5
tell
is
you.
more than 3, you know.
It's more than 3, and I'm feeling good about it. So yeah, I've got a. This is the first weekend in a while where I don't have like a ton to do. I mean, I'm doing day job stuff, but like it's basic. I'm just gonna be vibing, playing Expedition 33, getting through my backlog. It's gonna be fun.
Okay.
Cool. How about you, Hogue?
Knock him out, Travis. Knock him out.
It's the plan. Is that a reference to the Star Wars gangster rap?
It was not. Is
Damn.
that a
No
line
let's
in the
just move
Star
on.
Wars gangster rap?
Let's just move on. Let's pretend I didn't say anything
We're not.
at all.
Don't start with that
really.
right in the intro
Yeah.
here. Hogue, 4.5 hour show yesterday. Yet you're here. You're alive. You're seemingly well.
Yeah, no, I'm increasing my stamina as I go along here. I've been wanting to for a while. Every year since 2018, I've done a top 10 list on my channel of the games of the year. And for the last maybe 5 or so, I've done them with my brother in what we call Thabto. 2 Hogues are better than 1. And we debate our top 10 lists. So I did that stream yesterday. A lot of people from Season Gaming and the Bitcast came over and said hi.
Awesome.
And we had a really good time. I think it worked out almost without a hitch. I hit some wrong buttons, as you do in a long stream, but we had a good time. My list was not as pilloried as I feared it might be, but we'll see after this conversation whether people still like me. You never know.
Okay.
People are very
Who
passionate about their games.
They are overly so, for sure. So what was let me ask before we get into ours, of course, is what was the biggest debate yesterday? Because I haven't watched yet.
I think the biggest debate was Tom likes to put on little games from the PC. Like, you guys think Hogue's Notes are really oddball out in the wilderness games. They aren't compared to Tom's.
Okay.
So there's always a little conversation of like, what did you just bring to the table here, bud? And some other things like he had an honorable mention list that he had submitted to me where he wanted to include something he hadn't played, which I disallowed, and he complained about that. It's brother stuff. He also
hadn't played. Interesting.
Yes,
Yeah,
he tried to include a game that he hadn't played.
That hasn't been played.
No, and then so we had a little conversation about whether you could have a top 10 list of things that you just didn't play at all, like just a vibes list. I didn't get to play anything this year because I was working so hard, but these feel like these are probably the best when I get to them. It's like, no, we can't do that, Tom. That's not useful. So we had those kinds of conversations. It's my brother. Honestly, we haven't gotten a chance to talk too often or too long in between these shows this year in particular. So there's a lot of catching up and just kind of busting on each other.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Well, good morning, good afternoon, chat. As you said, today's going to be a more casual show. We're going to hang out. We're just going to be chatting about our favorite games of the year, other kind of smaller, not categories, but, like some of the disappointments of the year, games we think may have been overlooked, you shouldn't forget about, games we'd obviously like to spend more time with that we didn't either get to or spend as much time as we would like to. We will, Travis and I have some commentary we want to touch on about the marathon Vidoc that Bungie released this week, because I think it's, we've talked quite a bit about that entire situation between Marathon and Arc Raiders, so worth commenting on that. But before we get started, just a couple things. Housekeeping, of course. So on the Season Gaming side of the house, all super chats today, donations, anything, are going to go to Extra Life. As I think I mentioned a couple weeks ago, I've really slacked with streaming this year for a number of reasons, but I still want to make sure we're raising money for the Children's Miracle Network here in Kansas City. Really, really good people over there. Have worked with them for, I think this is like year 8 at this point. So any super chats you want to throw up, or there's an Extra Life link directly in the description directly to my page where you can donate directly as well, whatever you prefer to do. And you can do that anonymously. And silly reminder, but it's worth calling out, it is tax deductible as well. So would appreciate anyone checking that out. Or if you got something to say to us, would appreciate that as well.
And please do make those super chats through the Season Gaming side, not mine. It's not easy for us to move money around between the channels as it is, and you've just got extra cuts and things with YouTube. So, yes, please donate to Extra Life. Great cause. I want to fully support Ains and Season Gaming doing that here. Don't give me money. Give Season Gaming and Ains money. And ultimately, Extra Life.
Yeah, Extra Life money. Yeah, thank you for that, Hogue. Yes. Gamefire, I was just getting to that. So we are recording this week. We are off next week. So the show between Christmas and New Year's, we will be off. So I guess officially this is our last show of the year. But we will be back the following Sunday, which I think is January 4th, to kind of kick off the new year with 2026 expectations, previews, that kind of stuff. So, however, Travis and I are returning for our now third annual, which is crazy to think, Travis. The third annual cook-off. Gaming cook-off. So we won't have Bitcast next week, but I was thinking, Travis, right after that, the week between Christmas and New Year's. Is what, not the 4th? I'm sorry.
It's not the 4th annual? I feel like we've done 3 cooking shows together. Have we not?
Maybe. I thought it was the 3rd. We did Witcher last year.
I remember cooking 3 things. We did Diablo 1 year.
We did Diablo
1 year. And
you broke up just now. What'd you say?
Halo. Did the Halo cookbook 1 year.
Did we?
Yeah, because I cooked did we do different cookbooks 1 year? Maybe that's what I'm thinking of. I did the Halo one year because I remember reading the Halo.
We're very well organized here, if you couldn't tell.
Yeah. All right. Well, chat will tell us.
This is the kind of casual stream we promised. I don't know what anybody's talking about.
Yeah.
Tal says you're right.
Diablo, Witcher, and Halo. We've done 3 years. This is the 4th annual cooking show.
First of all, that's crazy that we've been doing this for 4 years. And second of all, how do I forget that we did Halo cookbook?
Halo was the first one we did. And I remember that because I read the description in the book that I don't remember what I cooked, but I remember it was like in the African town of
Mombasa.
Mombasa.
Not Mombasa. Yeah, New Mombasa.
New Mombasa, the super city.
Yeah, you are right, because Halo was the one that I famously burnt the parchment paper on.
That's right. Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Maybe that's why you think it was only 2 years, because you only got to eat 2 years. The first year it was on fire.
And then we did Diablo because of Diablo 4 releasing. Then last year we did Witcher just because we thought it was cool. This year, should we tell them what we're doing this year?
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. This year we are doing the Borderlands cookbook because of Borderlands 4. We both reviewed it. We reviewed it together. So we figured that would be a good one to do in 2025.
Yeah. Is that the only game we played together in 2025? We played some Arc Raiders together.
A little Arc Raiders. I don't remember. This year has been a blur, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I think that was it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It's hard to believe it's the end of the year already.
I will say the recipes are a little... If you're trying to find something, have you picked your recipe yet?
I haven't, but I know where you're going, which I looked through the book, and it's like there's desserts, there's like side things, there's a lot of weird.
There's only like 8 mains. It's like
there's a kind of weird thing. So I was gonna say we can talk offline, obviously, but I was gonna say let's just pick anything and just have fun with it. Yeah,
I'm gonna pick one of the mains. I think I know which one I want because it looks challenging. I try to challenge myself when I do these guys because I cook like every day for me and my wife, and so when I do this, I've gotta do something flashy, you know.
I do not cook every day, and so all of it is challenging, but we have fun with it, you know.
You gotten so much better though. There were a lot of people who said you won last year.
The stew last year was awesome. It really was. Yeah, it took a long time, but it was good.
Yeah, that was my criticism of the Witcher one. There's a lot of gruels, a lot of like stews and Slavic sad food, bull sloth. You know what I mean? So it was very challenging.
Those are my people.
The sad Slavs. Yeah,
just the Slavic baseline. I don't know what we need to describe them as sad.
Well, there's Slavs, and then there's like a certain sect of like the sad Slavs, and those people, they eat gruel. They eat a lot of stews. You know what I mean?
It is funny, you know, I think I've said this here and maybe in other places, but whenever I play a game straight from Poland, it's always obvious, like the cultural kind of psyche there is just things can go really wrong really fast, and that's our narrative bent for whatever story we're telling.
Yeah.
Like Stalker.
Stalker,
Yeah.
There's a lot of trauma. Yeah.
Oh,
Witcher.
Kronos. Kronos was like that too.
Yeah, Kronos is set in Poland, right?
Yeah. Yeah, Polish studio because of Bluebird, right? Aren't they Polish, I believe? I may have that wrong, but I think that's right. Anyway, so no Bitcast next Sunday, but that following week between Christmas and New Year's, we'll do the cooking show again. We'll get that up. So what else we got announced today? I think that's it. We've got a couple super chats, obviously Tide picks to get to. Before we get to super chats, we'll actually start with Tide picks. And guys, again, I think we've got a partially horrific one here today because these are
fun.
I'm sure I look fantastic.
Wow. We all look like we're hosting a game show together.
It's like our alter egos almost.
I think we're supposed to be in the Lollipop Guild.
This is evil Christmas pastors.
Yeah.
I mean, Travis always looks like he's up to something anyway, but Hogue, that look on your face, Hogue, is
no, I look like an evil pastor. I do.
Yeah.
I got to be honest, the big distraction here is how much our faces do not look like us just across
That's
the
what
board.
I mean. It's weird.
Like, I think this one is like actors casted as us. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
I could see an
accurate.
actor getting cast as me that looks like that, and I would be like, oh, that's kind of close. But you know, like if it's supposed to be an AI of me, like they
it's
did
the Netflix
absolutely
presentation of
terrible job.
Bitcast.
Exactly. Yeah. Netflix presents Bitcast. If we get in trouble for some lollipop based like crime, this will be what our actors look like when they portray us.
It says it's a cheesy holiday photo shoot. There you go. We're using us as the base. Yep.
There is a little Seth Green in Travis's picture.
Yeah, Freight Conductor says Seth Green for Travis. Yeah, that's about right.
I've heard Seth Green to my face in real life, so I'm okay with that. Yeah.
I think I've said I usually get Rick Moranis and Wallace Shawn.
Yeah. My wife gets Rick Moranis, which I take as a compliment. It's a good looking guy.
Wallace Shawn? I'm looking that up right now.
Wallace Shawn is inconceivable from Princess Bride.
Oh yeah, okay, all right.
That's less flattering, but I'll take it.
He's a goofy looking guy, but
as you get older,
I understand it.
Yeah, he's 82. Jeez, man, wow.
Yeah, me
Princess
too.
Bride is pretty old.
Yeah. Well, Ty, thank you as always, and thank you for a funny year of picks. We always have a good laugh with them here, so appreciate you as always. All right, we did get a couple early super chats, including a tremendously generous one from our good friend Tao, which, as I already said, if you're coming in late, we'll be going to Extra Life today on the Season Gaming side. So all super chats, all donations will be going to help KC Children's Miracle Network, children's hospitals here that do fantastic work. So that's it.
Tao Zochi 727 $100 donation and writes, "Sup Bitcasters, I didn't have Tom dropping the F-bomb on Hogue on the bingo card, but brothers, lol. Have a happy holiday season, everyone. Tell those closest to you that you love them and cherish the time. We aren't promised this moment. Take care and add to the backlog."
Yes.
I like to say add to the backlog as some like metaphor, but maybe that's just me reading into it.
Yeah, not to get too sappy, but Tao's absolutely right here. This is, I mean, you should do this all the time, but obviously during the holidays, a good time to remind everyone around you how much you love them, cherish them, appreciate the people that appreciate you. And we aren't promised this moment, which obviously I've spoken to many times in the SG world. So don't let it slip by without taking time to do that, is what I would say. And Hogue?
Yes.
Brother.
Tom apologized, yes. But you asked about those debates. I believe Tom finished one with a solid FU and then said, oh, wait, we're on stream.
Nice. Oh, I know you love that on your channel too. So
I did. I said, thanks, buddy. I didn't feel I had to warn you, given that this is like your 15th appearance on the channel and you know the rules, but he said he'd gotten more sweary over the last year.
Nice. That's a good
Haven't
character
we
trait
all?
to develop.
Yeah, haven't we all? Tal, seriously, thank you as always. Always very generous with stream donations and things like that, especially for Extra Life. So thank you. That's going to be a big help in the Extra Life bucket. So appreciate you. Fat Boy R.
Fat Boy Horror, 5 pounds. Morning, peeps. Merry Christmas all. And hope you get what you want later this week. And what an end to last week, watching two douchebags knock the hell out. That was pretty crazy. You guys see that fight?
I didn't even
dude's
read
jaw.
this ahead of time, so when you read it, it caught me off guard.
That dude's jaw. Did you see the X-rays?
I don't follow it, but I did see because friends were talking about it, and I'm with Fat Boy on this one. These are two horrible people, so by all means, get punched in.
Is
the
this
face.
the Paul fight? I don't know
Yeah.
enough about these things.
Jake Paul had his jaw broken by a real
A
boxer.
YouTuber
He got
fought a
into an
real
actual
boxer.
boxing match, and he got wrecked.
My God, dude. The memes on that too, because it was such an anime punch with him like smiling and like reeling his arm all the way back, and then
Did you see what I don't follow, like I said, but the guy has a quote basically saying he knew he was going to kill him and he wanted to ride it out and take his soul from him. And
Dude.
so, yeah. And the other
There's a
one,
photo,
if you
you
didn't
can
know,
see his teeth are bent inward, like
yeah, they're
just
cracked
knocked his
across the
entire
whole
jaw
face.
off. Unbelievable.
The other one, if you're not aware, is one of probably the worst famous people out there. Andrew Tate also got wrecked by a fighter a couple days ago, maybe yesterday. So
both Andrew Tate and Jake Paul were in boxing matches in the last couple days.
Both got destroyed.
They've
yes.
both been in a few boxing matches in the past.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Undersells the former heavyweight champ who's still in his yes, I mean, yes. Jake Paul was taking, silly fights to make himself look good, and he got in a real fight, and that's what happened. So
It's crazy.
Anyway, Fat Boy, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate you as always. News as a zombie.
New _ zombie. That's a sleeping zombie, y'all. $9.99 super chat. Hell yes. Ains got that spirit. Santa
He
hat
does.
child size or big old head. We'll never know. Still a
Big
star.
Yeah.
Still a star to all. I'm not here. Need 3 million today. Wipe / skill points in Arc Raid. I'm having a real hard time with this one, guys. Merry holidays.
He's going to be Arc
Ains.
Raiden.
Arc Raiden. Be Arc Raiden. Merry holidays, Ains and his corporate elves. Peace sign. Red heart emoji.
I respect the Telegram speak when it comes to the super chats. So
For sure. I love hieroglyphics.
no,
Let's just do a cast as ancient Egyptians. Why not?
I think it's a good economics lesson on putting constraints on, right? Like YouTube says you get this many characters for this much money. People find a way. He conveyed what he needed to convey.
Doesn't count the string though.
I don't know. I don't remember.
Yeah, if it counts the string, he's not being that efficient. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, so Arc Raiders, they're doing the reset, or maybe they already did the reset. I don't remember, but I know
today.
It's today. Okay, so yeah, you got to get 5 million, I think it was, to do this.
I know, because I was playing yesterday and I saw this timer and I went, "Oh no, I'm not going to make it."
Yeah, no. I was going to wear the Christmas sweater as well today, but I'd be too hot between the hat and sweater on stream, so we didn't do it. All right. Thank you, Zombie. Thank you, everyone, for the super chats. Like I said, appreciate the extra life. All right. We can just kind of get into it, gents. So if there's anything specifically, and I don't have anything to talk about for this week because I've really been just playing Kingdom Come Deliverance, but Hogue or Travis, is there any games you want to talk about that you've been playing this week, separate from obviously our conversation about 2025 stuff? Anything
like the big
that
ones
out there?
I mean, I think one that I wanted to reference that I didn't last week is this little Devolver Digital game called Skate Story.
Skate Story, yeah.
Where you are a glass demon in hell trying to get out by skateboarding.
As you do.
And like the best of the really weird indies, it gets really like philosophical and existential while you're skateboarding in hell. It's a really strange game, but it's got good vibes, and the skateboarding action is actually well done. So those two things make it, I think, worth your time and interest. But I didn't mention it last week, and I forgot to do so, so I did write it up top that I wanted to mention it this week.
Nice.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, critically, it did quite well. And Devolver Digital seems to have a knack for publishing those types of games. So
Finding weird stuff and making it
yeah.
polished. Yeah.
Yeah. Very cool.
I've been playing all the games that are on my backlog, obviously, but then also on top of that, just like some newer games like Metroid Prime. Pick that thing up, checking that out. It's okay so far. What else did I play? I played the Xbox 360 arcade game Zuma because this week I saw in the Microsoft Store there's a game called Zumba, which is not Zuma. It's made by some other company and is not a Zuma game and apparently is very bad. It's just like basically a scam game. And I was like, you know what? I never beat that old game Zuma on the Xbox 360 arcade, so I started playing
It's a
that.
puzzle
That's
game,
a weird
right?
one.
Well,
Yeah, it's like you're the frog
like a
that shoots
ball.
balls. It's like
Yeah.
a matching game. That game was fun. But yeah, I played that for a certain amount of time. I've just been playing weird stuff. I've also been playing a little bit more Destiny. I'm pretty much done now, but like, I just finished reviewing Destiny, so I was like playing it a day or two after my review just to wrap up my time there until I see it next year, presumably. Yeah. But yeah, I've been playing a lot of Expedition 33 and I'm gonna get back to Kingdom Come. The Altars, I want to finish. Hollow Knight.
Altars. Okay.
Yeah, Altars
Hollow
I
Knight,
really
yeah.
like. I'm really enjoying my time with that one. I'm gonna finish that one for sure. Hollow
Okay.
Knight, I'm still in the process of finishing, but yeah, this is my favorite time of year where I get to catch up on all the games I didn't get to play while I was reviewing, and it's been a joy.
It's like Travis
Cool.
gets to live 2025 right now for a week.
That's right. That's right. Just for a little week. I don't know what I was
Well,
doing during the Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 days because I played like 100+ hours of that.
February.
And how did I do that? I just don't know how I play games I'm not reviewing. How did I find time for that?
Well, I do have one more I can mention, and then we can talk about best games of 2025 and everything else you want to talk about.
Go for
and
it. Yeah, go.
That is, I think people might remember last year my talking about a game that really took me by surprise called Lorelei and the Laser Eyes.
Yeah.
Which was a puzzle game, a mist adventure type game that I really thought came together well, very clever. And the company that made that game actually started out making mobile games, cell phone games and tablet games. They're called Simogo. And they released a kind of archive of the games that they made during their mobile days onto consoles. And it's called Simogo, I want to say like Legacy Edition or something like that. It released this last week. It's got 8 games in it. It's got podcasts related to the games. It's got art and prototypes and things. And what they had to solve for, which they did really brilliantly, is a lot of their games require rotating on the gyros of the phone or the iPad and or multi-touch, like multi-fingers and doing things at the same time in the puzzle land. And they solved for both those things within the application on your Switch or on your console. And it's just really, really well done, really polished. And this is some of my favorite stuff. They've got weird narrative puzzle games about the supernatural, about dreams, about spy fiction in the 60s that doesn't quite make sense because people are taking over your brain and things like that. Like just really weird stuff that ultimately leads up to Lorelei and the Laser Eyes. And I really, really like this. It's not very expensive. It's got a lot of content in it. I highly recommend Simogo. I'm going to say Legacy Edition. Somebody can check me on the title there. But it's a number of games. Don't miss out on it if you're at all interested in weird stuff that would otherwise get lost to time in mobile land.
Simogo Legacy Collection.
Oh, very close. I almost got all the words right.
You did. And that's Simogo.
Yes.
Anyone listening. Okay.
Narrative, puzzle-focused Swedes.
Okay. All right, cool. Yeah, I would have not known about that. It's $15, by the way, as you said, not very expensive. So
No, I really, really a lot of stuff for your $15 there. So
Okay.
please check it out.
Fantastic. Love that. Yeah, so we're going to talk about just the year. We've got, like I said, at the top. So our favorites of the year, disappointments, games not to forget about, games you want to spend more time with. We really encourage everyone to chat in with us here. I'll be calling out comments. So please let us know your favorites of the year, maybe a game we haven't talked about or a game you really enjoyed.
Yeah, flag them down. I
saw-
like to buy stuff I haven't heard about before. Tom did that for me yesterday.
Please share it out. I was going to put a poll, and I'm like, there's no way I'm going to be able to put a poll for 30 games that people are. So it'd be easier just to chat in, and I'll keep an eye as we're talking here.
Yeah, chat in if you want to throw some money to Extra Life at the same time. We're not going to say no. You don't have to, of course. But yeah, let us know.
Yep. Well, I mean, who wants to kick us off? I feel like there's a few games we've obviously talked about an awful lot through the year. I will. You got one you want to throw out? If not, I can start us off.
Well, I'd like to add an unusual one that I don't think is going to require a lot of conversation. People that follow me obviously saw that I already put my whole list out yesterday, but my fifth favorite, number 5 on that list that I want to make sure people know about is the 100 line, Last Defense Academy, right? And we've talked about it a little bit here. I don't want it to get forgotten. It is an anime visual novel, and that's enough to have at least half the chat turn off and say, no, thank you, Rick. That's totally fine. But if you can stomach anime tropes at all, this is one of the most compelling bits of writing that I have played in games and maybe even have read, period, in books or otherwise, in the last few years. I'm 170 plus hours into this experience, and every single time I turn it on, I say to myself, well, I think I know all of these twists, or I know these different perspectives, or I know these bits about the characters. What else could you possibly show me? And every single time it impresses me, and it's efficient. It's long. I just said 170 hours. Another section of the audience just said, no, I'm not interested, Rick. Totally makes sense to me as well. But they keep evaluating and keep shifting what story they're telling while still staying true to the characters that they've set up in a way that I just find to be an incredibly impressive piece of fiction in whatever format it might appear in. You throw on an interesting strategy game that is way better than it has any reason to be in this kind of project, and good art and good music. I just couldn't recommend it more. If you at all like any of these things, get in there, defend the Last Defense Academy for 100 days. You won't regret the time you spend there, and I will see you on the other side.
Okay. Yeah, I remember you talking about that one a little bit. But I think it's also very highly reviewed too, right? So that's good. Good shout out. Alex is in the chat.
There was also a very
ahead.
passionate group of IGNers fighting very hard for that game in a number of categories in our Game Awards. So I've not played it, but I've had people say extremely good
It's
things
remarkable.
about it.
It really
on
is
a video
remarkable.
call while shouting at me. So
well, I'm not going to shout at you any more than I usually do, Travis. I just want people to know about it.
if you say so, fool me once.
Let's see. We got a couple shout outs here. So Alex says, let's not forget Eternal Strands, which you reviewed, Travis. But that released in January from what's the studio? Yellow Brick Games?
Yellow Brick Games.
Yellow Brick Games.
Oh, wow. My brain worked. Yellow Brick Games. Okay.
Hold it up.
Yeah. So yeah, I know. I forget what you gave that, Travis. Maybe a 7.
I did not review it. I did I announced the game.
Yeah, he was the first look, right?
Yeah,
that's right.
First look and previewed it, and then I think somebody else reviewed it. I can't remember who, but I was busy with something else and couldn't review it.
They're somewhere in England. Yes.
They're in Canada.
Oh, Canada.
Sorry,
Canada.
They're in Montreal.
Yeah. I know Alex reviewed it for us. He really, really enjoyed it, so he wanted to shout that out. It's easy to forget about those games that release, early on in the year. So
Mitchell Salt's
really
is
a
7.
Okay, yeah, Alex gave it an 8.
Oh, Mitch, you dog.
Mitch is he's pretty specific about his big boy crawly action games, so makes sense.
Big boy crawly action games. That's a good genre,
yeah,
right there. I like
big boy crawlies. Hell yeah, dude.
We got Silkenit also. Shout out to Silkenit, who actually came into my stream a couple weeks ago and donated directly to Extra Life, which is awesome. I want more people to play Artist Impact. I don't remember this one, guys. Artist impact. Sorry, I'm looking. Sorry about the clicking if you're listening. Turn-based RPG set in a future world of humans and AI. Looks like it's on Steam. All right. Sorry, I can't say much about that, Silken, and I'm not aware of it. It is very positive reviews on Steam anyway. It came out in August, so there you go. Another shout out for games you might not have heard of. There you go.
Yeah, I love it. Flag them for me.
I'll just throw one out. This isn't not unheard of course. Just one I wanted to speak to as I've reflected on the year is Silent Hill F.
Mm-hmm.
I finished Silent Hill F and Chronos: A New Dawn back to back. I thought Chronos was going to be the game I preferred. It absolutely was Silent Hill F. Alex and I have talked a lot about this one because he and I think maybe are the only two who finished it at SG. But really, really enjoy Silent Hill F and the arc it takes through that story. Especially there's some key parts in that game that are later that you go through, which are really something in the horror genre. And I just watched a group I like, RKG, I've mentioned before, play through Silent Hill 2 remake. And I was not as big on Silent Hill 2 remake as I thought I was going to be. I love that game back in the day. Originally, when I played remake, it felt disappointing to me. I know some people love it, but Silent Hill F was really surprising to me. I like the change they kind of did in the setting, the time frame, the characters, and where it goes in that story and what it represents, from a kind of a perspective or analogy, whatever word you want to use there. I really, really appreciate it. So if you like horror, if you like weird horror, Silent Hill style horror, and don't mind the aesthetic of kind of like 60s Japan or post World War II Japan, I should say, maybe, check it out. I really enjoyed that one this year.
Yeah, it's a specific vibe. I really like Silent Hill F as well. It is both post-war Japan and kind of like deeply religious temple symbology that is going to work for some people and not work for other people. Yeah. But I really like that game.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah. Let's see. We got a couple super chats. While you're typing there, Travis, I'll knock these ones out for us. So we've got our favorite friend who we still don't know who does this, but we got a €2 super chat from the globe that is not behind Ains. It didn't make it back for the holiday show. Simply saying, don't mind me, I'm not here.
Was that globe an Indiana Jones globe, Ains?
Yes, it is.
Okay, because I was about to say, I don't know anybody who actually owns a globe, like unironically these days.
No, it was back there, and I want to say it was like when he opened up an Indiana Jones Deluxe or something.
It was the collector's edition for Indiana Jones. It's actually no joke. It's sitting right there. I can see it. I could bring it over, but
I remember. Do you guys remember globes were everywhere when I was younger? Like really young. I remember.
I had a little light up globe in my room
in classrooms and stuff. And then by the time I was in middle school, the globe industry really collapsed in on itself at that point. I mean, you got to imagine if you're a globe maker right now, you're having a real tough situation.
As it turns out, when everybody can access the entire map of the world in their pocket, there's less of a need for globes.
Yeah. But you're right. Before the internet and all that, it was like you only learned about other countries, obviously, through books and stuff. But like you'd point them out on the globe constantly. But like, where is that place? And you'd have to go find it.
Oh, I used to remember spinning it and just putting my finger down.
Of course.
You guys ever seen the episode of West Wing about how our globes are inaccurate or how our maps are inaccurate? Oh, it's great. Good show. Good show. Go watch Martin Sheen be our president. That's my recommendation, really.
I thanked my globe over there. He's good for the super chat. Mickey Doe with the £10 super chat. Not often you get a game set in Ireland. So shout out to Seance of Blake Manor, which I wanted to pull this up now because I have seen a lot of people talking about this game. It is one of the highest rated games of the year critically. And I am not familiar with it. I have not checked it out. I haven't played it, and I haven't even really looked it up. So someone talk to me here. What do we?
Yeah, it's a detective story with a supernatural bent in a kind of time resource management investigation setting. I haven't played it far enough to give it the full plaudits or you should check this out. I also saw those reviews. I bought it like maybe Halloween Day because they were having a sale because it's that kind of vibe. But yes, it's very highly thought of in critic circles. and it seems like it probably does have the juice. I just haven't gotten there myself.
Okay.
I've
Yeah, if you're not
heard that
familiar,
it is
this is
stressful.
Yeah, I mean, it's
stressful?
resource management. So if like any of the things that you're trying to figure out how to get where you're going with the limited amount of resources you have, and you have to make choices about what you're doing, that can stress people out.
Okay.
I'm
Developer
into it.
Spooky Doorway.
The art
Set
style looks insanely good, so I definitely want to try it.
Yeah, it's
I
a
own it.
kind of
I bought it on
cell-shaded comic
Steam.
book.
That's about as far as I've gotten.
Yeah, set in 1897 Ireland. And yeah, there's some sites that gave it a 10. I think it's like a 92 on OpenCritic. It's like the second or third best rated game of the year behind, I think, Hades 2.
Well, and speaking of
So
ghost stories, I should have mentioned this at the top. Travis is going to be familiar with this game, but a game that I wasn't familiar with came to PSVR 2 really recently called Ghost Town. That is from the people that made the puzzle game The Room. And instead of just a puzzle box in a room, this one has you going through kind of British urban environments to hunt down ghosts. And I was really enamored with it for a good long session until, as the PSVR 2 tends to do, I ran out of batteries on one of the controllers and I couldn't quite make it work anymore. And so my session was cut off and I didn't go back to it. Also, my experience with the PSVR 2. But I think the game is great. And I mean to go back to it when I next get the chance to put a giant helmet on myself and just sit there and hunt ghosts.
Ghost Town is my VR game of the year, actually. So
It seems like it. I mean, it seems like that kind of quality.
Yeah, it is. It's the coolest thing I played this year. There's actually kind of tough competition this year because we got a few really like strong VR games. But yeah, that one is made by the people that made The Room. So if you are familiar with those puzzle games, it is very much in the same vein of like
Hogue
very
just
slow.
said that.
I
What's
did
that?
preface
Yeah.
it that way, but I always assume Travis is only half listening. That's okay.
Yeah, it's
Go
a good
on.
game. That's my point.
Good game.
Yeah.
Okay, and it's on PSVR too. You said.
Yeah,
Awesome.
that's why I played it. Is I haven't been checking the Meta store. I understand it's been on Meta for a while, but it came to
Okay.
PSVR 2 this last week.
That's where I played it on.
Awesome. Let me get the super chat off the screen. But Mickey Doe, thank you very much for that. Appreciate the support and the donation to Extra Life. Thank you.
The really nice
Yeah.
puzzles. That team knows how to make a nice elaborate puzzle where you feel like you're in a
Sure
games
do.
magazine and you're just making it go.
Okay. Very cool. Yeah, to Travis's point, I've seen a lot of people, not a lot. I've seen more people talking about specific VR experiences that have been very good this year, which is cool to see. So
Yeah.
Um,
Well, as
back
people
into
might know,
VR.
I've had to kind of cut back on my VR. I can really only play games that support a sitting option for VR now, and so those aren't as prevalent as they might seem. Or I think most offer a sitting option. They don't always work so well, and Ghost Town does. So that was nice.
cool.
Ghost
Cool.
Town.
Kusanagi, shout out to Kusanagi. If you've chatted before, I don't remember seeing you, but Corridon was a neat and interesting game. So I looked it up. This is an ARPG, actually, isometric ARPG. Was not aware of this one. It does have very positive reviews. Came out right early in the year, but there is a demo on Steam as well you can check out. So cool. Good shout out. I hadn't seen that before. So
I'm
thank
putting
you.
it with Artist Impact. Thank you, people.
Yeah.
We should
Thank
do this
you,
every
Kusanagi.
week. Keep giving us your most random games.
Throw them out. Yeah, let's see them. Yeah, I mean, I'm watching a little clip of it right now. It looks pretty impressive. So, with me, ARPGs really all come down to the loot system. That's what really interests me. So, I'd have to check that out. But
Have you gotten into Loot 3.0 yet, Ains? I have been playing a lot of Diablo 4. My pally is kicking butt.
no, I haven't. Funny enough, shout out to Katie Cotton, one of our regular WoW and ARPG people. She just said that she's only been playing the new expansion for Path of Exile 2, which of course we've talked about as well. But I'm hearing great things about both the Paladin and just kind of the updates. So you're still enjoying it?
I am, yeah. And it's interesting. I know I've said this before here, but playing any kind of live service game always feels like you're being lightly or strongly gaslit. Like, is that how that worked before? Is that where that jeweler was standing before? Am I losing my mind? And it's like, yes, big swaths of Diablo 4 have now been changed. And the way the loot system works has almost entirely been reworked. Like, this was another change from Loot 2.0, which is I think
Yep.
what they called like the big one last year. This is another big sea change kind of way of interpreting the way you add affixes to your weapons and things like that. And also the entire kind of seasonal progression model has been reworked. I think mostly just optically, but it's like this constant, is that how that worked before? I haven't played it in 9 months. Am I just going? No, I think they changed that. And going and finding Reddit posts or Travis interviews and seeing, no, they did change that.
Okay. Cool. Very cool. No, I haven't played it in a while, actually. Like I said, I'm waiting. I'm going to wait for the expansion for Mephisto, and then I'll go into that with the Paladin. Yeah, it's going to feel brand new when I go back to it, I'm sure.
Yeah, it does. It tends to.
I trying to pronounce this properly. Oops, wrong one. Denise Gungoror, 3640. I'm going with the
Sounds
group that
good.
made Sands of Blank Manor also made the wonderful Dark Side Detective games. So
That's interesting because the Dark Side Detective games are a completely different kind of graphical level of production value than Seance is. So they upgraded.
Sorry, I keep muting myself to type a comment. So I'll touch on this one real quick. So Ghost of Yote, I talked about it recently. Basically 100%ed that a few weeks ago. Got to it late, obviously, because it came out earlier this year. Really enjoyed it. If I had to make like a top 5 list of the year, I don't know if it would make top 5. It would make top 10. It's exactly what you expect in terms of a follow-up to Tsushima. It's better, much better sense of discovery and exploration, I think, than
Absolutely.
Tsushima. And I prefer Atsu as a character to Jin from the original, and I resonated with the story more. I think some of the culmination points, or story arc points in Yote are more meaningful than Tsushima. So I really, really enjoyed it. It's obviously beautiful. It's fun to go around that world. I think that it has some shortcomings. Some of those shortcomings are a me thing. In the sense of how a lot of those PlayStation first party games are designed, and kind of like your upgrade paths and stuff. I feel a lot of that is really trivial and meaningless. It doesn't feel meaningful when you're doing it. It's just like clicking buttons. But other than that, I really, really enjoyed it. So I think it goes without saying, but that's one to check out if you enjoy that type of thing. It's basically Kill Bill and, whatever century Japan that was. I forget the century it takes place in.
No, it's all right. We got a lot of historical fiction this year to run through.
Yeah,
so
no doubt.
No, I really like Ghost of Yote. It wound up just off my top 10 list. And I think it's mostly for the reasons you just articulated, Ains. I am personally a little bit over the Sony third-person, over-the-shoulder action-adventure model. And that's just where I land on this. Obviously, a lot of people still love it. Sony has put all their eggs in that basket. I understand. It's just that I am preferring a little bit more variety. I think Ghost of Yote represents perhaps pretty close to the pinnacle of what those games can be. I think they did a great job. I would prefer not to trace things on my touchpad and to move the gyros to cook fish and things like that, but Sony's clearly going to say, you're going to use the parts of our controller that we tell you to use. Fine. I think it's a good game. I really like the music in it. I don't think it gets called out enough. This kind of Japanese Western combination music that they have running through all of Ghost of Yote is just really compelling and interesting to me.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. It's well done, and I think what PlayStation first party usually does well in their modern games is set pieces, right? They're really good at setting up set pieces with, like I said, kind of arc points or culmination points. Those are really good. I think what's funny for me, to your point around some of the model of their game design. Now I'm obviously back on KCD2, like I said, and if you start to experience the depth of something like KCD2 and the world and how it reacts to what you do, the conversations, all those types of things. And that's not what Yote's going for, but what it does expose is how surface level a lot of the stuff in a game like Yote is.
Kingdom Come winds up feeling like it's from a different planet. You're like, oh,
it does.
Right, that's what games can be. My God.
Yeah, that's what games can accomplish. Exactly right. Yeah, it's just a different level of game design. And I think that's what I felt the same way about the God of Wars, about Days Gone. Like, there's things I like about them. I generally like those games quite a bit, but like there's certain design elements that just feel really just there to be there. And that never impresses me. So anyway, Travis, give us one, man.
Yeah, I made a little list here of the games I want to talk about. Let's start with, we already talked about Ghost Town. Well, that's a VR checked off.
Sorry
let's
for
go with-
pulling that away from you. I just really
That's
liked
a-
it this week.
That's okay. Yeah, you do my work for
We're
me.
sharing the conversation.
Let's go with the most unique game I played this year, which is Baby Steps. I've talked a lot about this game in my time or when I was reviewing it on the show. But if you if you haven't seen it, go back and watch that. But the headline is, this is one of the weirdest games I've played. Weird goes a really long way with Travis, and it was certainly the most unique game I played this year, and getting to do the review for it was an unexpected pleasure. And in a year where I didn't get to review a lot of like bad games, usually when I review bad games, it's when I get my weird kind of a quota, filled, is by playing games that just aren't good. This was one of the ones that really stood out to me, and that I would recommend more people experience because it is a goofy game. An honorable mention in the category of unique ass games is the Schedule One, the cozy game where you sell drugs, which also was a very fun one this year. So, but I think Baby Step wins it just because, Schedule One is in early access. It's a little bit bare bones as a game. Baby Steps is done. So I'm looking forward to seeing how that game evolves. But in the meantime, Baby Steps is the most unique game I played this year, and I think deserves a shout out.
Now, I haven't played Baby Steps, Travis, on your recommendation that it was probably the worst possible thing for me to try to play with my left finger, being how it is.
Yes.
But you said you're going to keep track of how it evolves. Is this? I was under the impression that it was not an evolving game.
I was referring to Schedule One. I'm going to see how that one evolves. But Baby Steps is done, and yeah, I think it's in an end state that is quite satisfying.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I've debated checking this one out, just because I don't know if it's going to be a game that I play for 10 minutes, and I'm like, I can't be bothered to really invest. It's
a great streaming game. If you got to do a stream for charity, that is the game to do, in my opinion.
That would be kind of funny, yeah.
Because you get lots of opportunity to have a conversation with chatters, and it's
while you're trying to climb a tree with your analog footsteps.
You can talk to them. They get a lot of funny reactions to you tripping over yourself and watching insane cutscenes, and yeah, it's like a perfect stream game in my opinion.
Okay. Cool. Couple shout outs I thought here. Alex just wanted to remind everyone that a new Digimon game came out. Obviously, I don't know how big our audience is, but
the Time Stranger, right?
Yeah, I gotta play that one.
Yep. And then Nissa shouts out Echoes of the End, which I had to remind myself what that was.
That's the fake God of War.
Yeah, so yeah, there you go. So that's she said it's a shorter experience, but a really good, and it's mostly positive, very positive on Steam as well, and it's actually 50% off on Steam right now. It's only $20, so
winter sale on Steam if you're looking for anything.
Yeah, lots of good deals out there.
One of Tom's top 10 from yesterday is in the winter sale on Steam. It's called Galactic Glitch, and I think it's less than $5 right now. So I bought it after he described it in that stream yesterday. I haven't played it long enough to recommend it to anybody, but generally speaking, I think you can take a flyer on a game that somebody of Tom's vintage and breadth of experience recommends in his top 10 for less than $5.
Okay. Twin stick roguelike shooter actually came out 3 years ago.
There you go. I let him get away with it. I let him get away with it because I didn't check the years on his list.
There you go. All right. Why don't we shout out? I don't know. What else can we shout out here? Let me pick one off the list that maybe we can all comment on. Let's talk Arc Raiders. I mean, Arc Raiders is obviously one of the biggest games of the year. We've talked an awful lot about it here. I don't think we have a whole lot to say, but I definitely would have that in my top 10 of the year. I think that Embark crushed it with Arc Raiders. It obviously has had its moment in the vibe of the gaming community, ecosystem or, streamosphere, and seems to continue to be doing well. it's they had their winter update, they have their reset going, and I've actually dropped off of it now. I think we talked a little bit about this around. I don't find once you complete the kind of quest and the story stuff, and you kind of play around with all the best equipment, I don't really find a lot making me go back. But I do have friends that are continuing to play it pretty much daily. So I don't know how you guys feel about it long term, but
Yeah, I've been logging in very casually. It was one of those games I played a lot for the review and then had to abruptly stop playing, so I fell behind a bit. I still have upgrades to do, and there's new events and new expeditions to take on. They're also doing a Christmas event right now where a lot of the levels have been covered in ice, and you take damage for staying outdoors for too long, and you have to pick candle berries and turn them in for bounties. So yeah, you're picking little trees, and it's got a very festive vibe to it. Yeah, so it's been fun. I think it's one of those games like I wouldn't want to make my main game for like a long period of time, but like checking in a couple times a week and playing for like an hour or two is kind of the perfect amount of that game that I want, and that's been my relationship with it. So I'm really having a good time with it. That is my my best multiplayer game of the year on my list. So
I really love
Uh,
Arc Raiders. I
sorry.
really do. But as I say that, Paladins hit Diablo 4. Did I mention that? And I can really only support like one live service perma game. And so when the Paladins hit, Diablo 4 is back, baby. And
Yeah.
I haven't touched Arc Raiders since.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I don't know. And we'll talk about this a little bit later with what they showed of the updated marathon that's coming in March now. But we talked about this right from the get-go, Travis, when we were talking about extraction shooters, is like, for me personally, once I get to the point where I've used all the stuff and it's like, okay, now I'm just going in, it's like, what am I doing? And I know obviously in Arc Raiders you have the expedition and you have the Christmas event, like you said. Those really don't do a whole lot for me because there's no arc of actual gameplay that I'm working towards. You know what I mean? Like when I play a competitive shooter, I've talked with some of my friends about this. I'm playing to get better, or I'm playing to compete, or I'm playing to increase my rank or something. There's none of that in Arc. I'm just running around either shooting to shoot people. And the PvP is great for a third person extraction shooter, but it's not great from a competitive sense. And otherwise, you're just running around, like you said, picking up berries or stuff, which doesn't really do a whole lot for me. Where to your point, Hogue,
yeah,
like Diablo, I know I'm building a character again. I'm getting all new loot. You know what I mean? That's a whole different type of chase than what I see long term out of something like Arc or even Marathon or anything else in that genre. So we'll see.
Yeah. I mean, I love what I've experienced in Arc Raiders. I love the polish in it. And I really love live service festive holiday events. So like what Travis
for
described
sure.
sounds awesome to me. But yes, did I mention that I call a laser from heaven to hit enemies that explode in a nuclear explosion now? So yeah, Diablo's where I live.
Nice.
yeah. There are some games, Ains, where at a certain point you realize that the grind is just a grind.
It's just a grind.
I can't
Exactly.
really describe it, but like there's some games where they like hide it enough to where you don't realize it, and some games that they don't. And sometimes it's just like a threshold you reach where when you hit a certain point, you're like, oh, this is just a grind. There's nothing, like I'm not really doing anything substantive in the long run.
That's
We're
what I
like,
call the "What am I doing with my life?" moment.
yeah,
Exactly
once
right.
the veil is lifted in certain games, and it completely ruins the game for you as soon as it happens, and you have to find something else to do. But I've also had that happen to me with video games as a whole. You ever just play
Yeah,
video
me
games as a
too.
Mm-hmm.
whole, and then that veil gets lifted, and you're like, oh, this is all a waste of time. Um, I think sometimes you just need to step away, remind yourself it's just a game. You're here for recreation and having
Yeah,
fun, and that there's
do
not
it.
supposed to be a point
Exactly.
to it. But it's especially hard when you're doing something like you're doing, Ains, which is like making it work for you, making it a hobby, like because you're running a site, or me because I'm doing it for money. Where like, sometimes I'll get done with a review and then be like, time to play recreationally, and then I'll start playing and I'll be like, I'm not getting paid for this. What is this shit? Why am I spending my time doing this? And there's like that
Yeah.
weird moment where you're like, why am I still working for no reason? But yeah, I think that when that happens, you just have to take a step back and reset and not play it. And I could definitely see that with like a game like Arc Raiders, because it's like that with Tarkov too. Like Tarkov is one of those games you can play for thousands of hours, but then every once in a while you're playing it, you're like, oh, this grind is just here. Like there's not
You're
really an end
just
game
doing it.
beyond. You're just getting the loot, and that's kind of the entire end game. But yeah, it's an interesting thing. There are some new quests in Arc Raiders, and I think the quests are like a worthy pursuit that kind of gives you something else to do and kind of a super objective in between matches. But
and Travis, just to back up what he was saying about games in general and life in general, I think I have one more game I wanted to mention this week that I had forgotten about, and I feel bad about it because honestly, this game saved me this week. I have been, as people know, getting onboarded and learning a new craft at a new law firm, and on top of that, dealing with a whole host of personal and family issues that have made it sometimes difficult to get right back into the workflow like Travis would have me get excited to be back in. And so I was having a day this week where I was just kind of grinding against the metal and trying to get through what I needed to get through. And I found a game. It was advertised to me pretty prominently that I wound up playing, and it really wound up saving my day and my week and just putting me in a better mindset for getting what needed to be done. And that is a game that is essentially a 90s arcade game that found its way into 2025 called Terminator 2D No Fate.
Yeah.
And this game reminded me so much of like the old movie games. In particular, I remembered a Genesis game based on Alien 3, where you have to run around the prison and save prisoners and fight the xenomorph and all that good stuff. Terminator 2D No Fate is this quick little arcade action game that is basically perfect in what it's trying to do. And the levels are maybe 10 minutes a piece, and every single level has its own little hook about fighting the T-1000 or a helicopter or anything else that happens in Terminator 2. And I just think it's fantastic. I wish it wasn't $30 to recommend to you all, because it is basically 45 minutes or an hour long, but that hour is perfection for this kind of game that ceased to exist after a certain point in time. The movie tie-in game that says you're in this universe and you are interacting with what you loved about that movie. Terminator 2, one of the best science fiction movies ever made. Obviously, I, having come of age during that period of time, have probably a different relationship to that movie than others might have living in 2025. But I wanted to call it out because there are points in time where work seems too hard, gaming doesn't seem to do the job, movies don't, whatever it is that you're into is just not working out for you. And you can find that thing that kind of takes you back and says, no, this is fun, this is good, enjoy this. And Terminator was that for me this week.
That's awesome. Yeah, good to hear that. I've heard good things about it as well. I was actually just looking up because it's made by Bitmap Bureau as a developer, and I think they've kind of honed their specialty in this area of kind of like throwbacks to the 8 or 16-bit area, because they also made Xenocrisis. They made what was the other one? Final Vendetta, which was almost like a Streets of Rage type thing. They made Battle Axe, which is, I think, an homage to Golden Axe. You know what I mean? Like they've kind of carved out this niche, and so pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Yeah, well, it's just crazy to see somebody buy the Terminator 2 license to make one of these right now. But they did such a
probably
great
why
job.
It cost $30.
Yeah, and almost certainly true. Well, they got the music in, like they got everything. I only couldn't tell whether they had the actor likenesses. My guess is no, based on what they included. But they're close. Like they're framed the same way that you see them in the movie, but they're not quite Arnold. It's not quite Linda Hamilton. Okay. It's that kind of vibe. But It just is such a good job of evoking the movie and the time period when those games were coming out that I just highly recommend it for anybody that's interested in those things.
It's very cool. The animation looks really good too. Almost looks a little Metal Sluggish. That's cool.
It's a really good game. Like it's just straight up a good game.
Cool. Fantastic. Couple other shout outs here from the community. So Timothy Pickett says another fair game was Rise of the Golden Idol. All 4 DLCs came out this year. There you go. And the first DLC is one of my favorite gaming experiences there this year. I know we talked about that one earlier this year, but that's fantastic.
Just absolutely great.
Yeah, thanks for calling that one out. Kusanagi's also back, said Yowling Mythical Journey was a cool monster collector game.
I love collecting monsters, but I don't know that one. Going on the list.
Got it? All right.
I do.
Let's get caught up. We got some generous super chats here headed to Extra Life for us. So, Travis, let me get these up and hit us with these, please. Debbie Dubs is here.
Debbie
Debbie
Dubs,
Dubs.
8599, $10 super chat. Happy holiday times, everyone. Been having a blast playing Pal World with my son. Goated.
Cool.
We've been making maps with the pals randomized. Really looking forward to There's No Ghosts at the Grand next year. That was maybe one of my favorite game reveals from this year. Absolutely stoked for
Looked
that.
crazy.
Is
Would
that
love
the
to
one
review it if I
from
can.
God, I'm blanking. The developer I was trying to think of.
The developer is Friday,
did-
Sunday, but it's published by probably somebody no, it's also Friday, Sunday. Dude, it's just an indie game.
Okay, all right. I thought it was from the makers or something else. But
It looks
cool.
insanely creative and interesting.
It does
I
look
love
crazy.
when you see a trailer like that and you're just like, what a good idea. It's such a good feeling.
Yeah, very cool. Cool. There is a demo. The demo on Steam for it right now. I didn't know
I'll
that.
be playing the demo.
There you go. Debbie, thank you as always. Always hanging out with us here. Hope you and family are well, and happy holidays to you as well. Thank you. Eric's here.
Game.positive, $6.99 Canadian. Merry Christmas to all you beautiful and sometimes bald people.
Yeah, he gets on my case about being bald. It's fine.
We don't know if Baines is
sometimes
bald
bald.
under that Santa hat.
This is true.
He could be growing it all out.
This hat
Not
is a
bald yet,
special
thank
new
God.
tech. It's growing my hair as we speak. So, yeah. Eric, thank you, my friend. Obviously, we talk often. Sad to say he's a Canadians fan, which is terrible. But I still respect him. So good dude. Eric, happy holidays to you and family as well, of course. Dragon Nerd.
Dragon Nerd 2, not to be confused with Dragon Nerd the First.
Very different.
99-cent super chat. Happy holidays, 2 exclamation points. I don't know how to emote that. Enjoying a holiday classic, Cthulhu Saves Christmas. A great Tom recommendation.
There you go. Great Tom recommendation.
Have you guys ever read the Cthulhu Dr. Seuss books?
No.
Fantastic. Highly recommend. They're like the Cthulhu books as a Dr. Seuss book. So it's a great way to, like, hear some rhymes and some cute drawings of people like killing themselves and going insane.
Something to look forward to.
For each year I buy one of these books for my editor Tom's kid, who's like 2 years old. And they're her favorite books, which Tom finds very annoying because they're so dark. And yeah, it's fun. That's my uncle relationship with Tom's kid.
There you go.
You're trying to corrupt the youth?
Yeah,
Yes.
I mean, I just want her to know good storytelling when she sees it. I mean, that's you're not getting any cool stories out of, one fish, two fish. You know what I'm saying?
I think there's some good stories in Dr. Seuss.
Oh, the Lorax? What are we talking about here?
Star-bellied Sneetches.
Star-bellied Sneetches. Never heard of it. Not a fan. Not familiar with the Sneetches.
Okay.
I was gonna make a really bad joke, but I won't. Dragoner, thank you for the super chat. Happy holidays to you as well. Debbie, I didn't realize Debbie Dub also followed up. She didn't have to do that, but she did.
Debbie Dub gave me more dollars.
Isn't that what she said?
Correction. No, I think she said
theirs.
theirs.
Oh.
There are no ghosts at the Grand.
Yeah, that's okay. We knew what you meant.
What a $5 correction it is, must I say. It's wild.
Yeah. Thank you, Debbie.
Yep. We do appreciate it.
And then Console Peasant, one of our regulars as well.
Console_peasant 89, €11.99. Always love the vibe of Bitcast. What is the vibe? What would you say our vibe is? Hogue, you go first.
Mostly it's relatively chill. Sometimes it feels like you're about to slash my throat, Travis, but not often.
It's all those dark children's stories he's into, Hogue. That's the problem.
That's right, yeah. I'm just trying to sacrifice you to the old ones.
Yeah. I think we should just ban all the books and we won't have to worry about it. You know what I mean? So,
Interesting theory.
Yeah. I
Does
figured.
ignorance protect you from the knowledge of the depths?
I think ignorance definitely protects you from knowledge. I think that's kind of how the definitions work.
But the depths come for you no matter what, right? Like,
No matter what, yes.
yeah.
Console Peasant, thank you. Always a big supporter. Appreciate you. Thanks for super chatting today. Let's see here. I think it's Eric Scholm, Nissa. Eric Scholm is another game that we reviewed this year too.
Eric Scholm.
No, I think Eric Holm is the name, isn't it?
Is it Eric? I thought it was an S. Eric Scholm. Am I wrong?
No,
on that?
it's. I think it's. Let me look. I think it's Eric Holm. I think I got it right. Oh nope, you're right. There's an S in there.
Okay.
Oh, this one. I
like
was
a Berenstain Bears
words,
situation.
like it was somebody's name. Okay, I know this one.
No, it's one.
Have you ever heard of Eric Scholm? He's my buddy from college.
No, it's one of like the Desperados, sneak around games.
Yeah, with surprisingly like strong, I think like cinematics or something. If I'm remembering the right game,
it's a good.
It does look expensive.
Yeah, overwhelmingly positive reviews on Steam, and I know Lewis, who reviewed it for us, I'm pretty sure he gave it a really high score, either an 8 or a 9. So it's supposed to be a really good one. There is a demo on Steam. I like calling out when I see that, so you can check that out.
It's also on sale on Xbox right now.
Yeah, it seems probably on sale everywhere.
I suppose I should mention there's a demo for the 100-line Last Defense Academy. Probably a good dozen hours of content there. A mere drop in the ocean, but a lot of content.
They're too damn long.
Fantastic.
Video games are too damn long. That's gonna be my campaign slogan.
All right, moving on. By the way, just a reminder, of course, if you're enjoying the show, please share it out. You know how things go around here. So hit that button tickle the buttons, as Hogue likes to say.
It always helps us buttons.
Well, boys,
give me a like.
It's about the middle of the show, so of course I got to mention Kingdom Come. We've talked about it a lot, so I won't harp on it. My favorite game of the year, bar none. I am now about to hit 110 hours. Done definitely further in the main story, but done a whole bunch of other side quests. Last night, I think I snuck into the best armor in Kutenberg. I stole about $50,000 worth of stuff, and walked back over encumbered to my inn, or whatever the hell it is, Groschen. But anyway, that game is really, really, really special. And to be honest, as I've said before, it is not getting its flowers enough for how special it is. I honestly think, and I joked about this, it's just a joke, don't take it seriously, but I think Monster Hunter Wilds having the same open critic score as Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is a crime against humanity. That makes no sense whatsoever. Kingdom Come is it's an all-timer for me. The more you experience what can happen in that game, the way things can happen, the way the systems are set up, and how you can manipulate things in that game, the storytelling, it's remarkable. So I cannot recommend it enough.
No, I agree. It's top of the line, and even more so, I think when you turn it on, every time I've turned it on after playing anything else for a period of time, it immediately strikes you as how much higher level almost every aspect of it is than whatever you were most recently playing. It is high graphics, high music, high acting, high writing, really good systems, really good choice and branching bits of the story. Just really one of the best things I've ever played. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. I agree. It feels like a lot of folks don't realize what kind of landed in from space and are comparing it to things that are probably not worthy of comparison to it. In my
100%. And the sad thing is like you don't really, you get senses of what you just described early on. You don't really realize the depth of it until you get through certain parts of that game, and then it really starts to become apparent. I was joking that I think I'm up to 5 people now, 2 at SG alone, I believe. But anyway, 5 people who hadn't played it, had different games as their game of the year, most noticeably Expedition, and then put over 100 hours into KCD2, and all of them up to 5 now saying it's their game of the year. It is, it really is remarkable. In fact, I posted a 3-minute long cutscene the other day which was hilarious. Great cinematics, music, really funny because it has a good sense of humor as well.
Yeah.
And it was literally just a random nonsense side quest that you didn't even have to do. You know what I mean? It had no bearing on the story, but a 3-minute amazing cutscene just for something like that. And that's just the story of that game. Its production values are wild.
You know, what I tell people about the writing is that you really don't realize how much writing in games and movies, honestly, for the most part, is just so superficial and direct. It is, this is what I want to do. This is how I feel about it. This is how character X feels about it. This is what they want to do. And just very top line bullet points so we can get to the plot. And Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 spends so much time doing what you expect from prestige TV or something like that, with subtext and just character beats that are not directly stated to you, but are around things like you just described, the funny scene, having a meal together, not talking specifically about what you're trying to accomplish in your quest line, but getting a feel for the characters and what's happening in that quest line at the same time. It's just really impressive. And honestly, we should be expecting results closer to Kingdom Come Deliverance. Like, we should be expecting more of that level of quality in our games. And I want to see us expect that in the future. And I get a little bit frustrated that people are kind of hand waving away what the game does, because I think in a lot of respects, it's everything we wanted out of a choice-based CRPG. And unfortunately, people are missing the forest for the trees because it's 15th century Bohemia, and I'm not interested in exploring that. It's like, it doesn't really matter. You weren't really interested in exploring the Witcher country, except for Geralt was cool, and they've got magic and dragons and monsters and all these things. And a game can still be cool without Geralt or dragons and monsters. I love Witcher 3. It's one of my favorites ever. But this is as good, if not better.
Yeah, I can't agree more. I think this is one of those things you and I are completely eye to eye on. And I get almost frustrated to a degree that the recognition for what it's accomplished and how it's built is not seen more. So that's why I called out like Ghost of Yote, another great game. I'm not taking anything away from Yote, but the difference in what's achieved in terms of game design and implementation is night and day. Absolutely night and day. So I just like to call these things out.
I'll be the devil's advocate here just because I've been around people who've played this game and are the on the detractors for like why this game is like special, which is that whether or not you like Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, it is certainly a game that is not for everyone. And I think that's like a very big one. Like, it does a lot of things that are a little obtuse. And for somebody who's like either trying to, it's kind of like I put it in the same category as like Red Dead Redemption 2, which is like really great game, but like it also has moments that are intentionally really slow and make you do things manually, and it's to achieve a certain vibe. But that it's not everybody's gonna like want to do that. I think Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is that to an even greater degree. It's like, okay, do you want to like have to like brew potions for a hell of long and like manually grab all these things and put them in a pot? Like, that is not the most compelling gameplay loop for like everyone. But if you're just going for like pure immersion and that's your goal and that's something that you like, then you know you'd be hard pressed to find that anywhere else. I tend to agree with you guys. Like, I fought pretty hard for Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 in IGN's own Game Awards, and it was a losing battle just because I think that Kingdom Come Deliverance exists in a niche that is way less approachable than something like Hades 2 or whatever, where like you can pick it up and immediately start having fun, where Kingdom Come, you know, you've got to learn a lot.
Requires some investment.
Yeah, you have to try a whole combat system, which is very rewarding once you figure it out, and also very unintuitive when you're first learning it. And I think everything in this game is like that. Like, every part of Kingdom Come is like very unintuitive and has a much higher barrier to entry that I think makes it very disqualifying when you're trying to decide on like best games ever, and there's like an entire section of those people who are just never gonna jive with it because it's just not approachable enough for like people who just want to get in and go. And so I think that is its like big drawback. But as somebody who likes games that are a little bit obtuse but reward you for like learning that, it's pretty hard to beat Kingdom Come.
I'm not going to say you're wrong, Travis. I am going to say that I am disappointed and not terribly optimistic about the future of gaming as a medium if the answer to is this thing good is it maximally approachable? Because I view things like literature or movies as achieving their highest ends with things that do require a little bit from the audience, right? You don't have the great works of literature be knocked off because that's a little bit tricky to read or the sentences are a little long.
It's not I don't think that's a great comparison. It's not that it's not
Okay.
approachable. It's that some people don't want the thing that Kingdom Come is. And that's just what it is, right?
But that's
Like
the same
even
with
if
every game.
yeah, but even if you go through the steps of learning all of the stuff that Kingdom Come tries to introduce you, the reward is that you get a very chunky game that is a pure simulator that some people are just not going to like for taste reasons that have nothing to do with approachability. It's like it's a little slow, right? You have to do a lot of things manually. There's like all that stuff that just isn't going to jive with everyone. And talking to people who are really passionate about stuff, there's just a whole section of people who are just like, I get it. It's super in depth. It's also just deeply not for me. And I think that games like Kingdom Come that are that certain style of games, they're just not going to win over like a big enough plurality, right, to be competitive in something like Game of the Year. And also, you can see that reflected in like the audience. Like Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 has an enormous audience for the type of game it is, but it still didn't really break through to mainstream. And I think that's the reason why it's just like it exists in a niche that is not for everybody.
It is certainly crunchy and it is certainly focused on a genre, historical fiction, that is not a historical success case in games, right? Science fiction and fantasy are where game successes live. And that's all fine. I take what you were saying well advised, Travis. I just do really feel like the genre can't advance if we are only going to keep to the most YA or candy coated version of everything that we put into the industry.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm with
I've
you
had
on that. Like obviously you need games like Kingdom Come to be kind of like frontiersmen and that sort of thing. But I think that they are always going to exist in like a niche because they're kind of intentionally so not for everybody. They're kind of just doing their own like cool, unique thing. But that's just from my perspective why you're not seeing Kingdom Come on like a lot of Game of the Year lists. It's like it's
Okay, but
either
can we
go
agree
ahead.
that not nominated for Game of the Year is insanity, IGN?
yes.
I think if you were in the room, you wouldn't feel that way. It's easy to judge people's opinions when you aren't part of like an 80-person staff that was like slugging this thing out and like hearing a lot of people who are really passionate about their games. But like again, there's a lot of different types of gamers at IGN because it's a very large editorial team, and the group of people who like the types of games that Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is a very small subset of that. And Liana and I can only fight so hard before people are just like, look, you're not going to win this. Like there's 15 games that everybody's extremely passionate
Fight
about
harder,
with reason.
Travis. God damn
Yeah,
it.
it's just not possible. And it wasn't, for the record, a matter of not enough people playing Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. It truly wasn't. It was just a matter of it just did not have the love over other titles. Although people pretty much universally agreed, like, yeah, it's a really great game, but just didn't make the
I,
list. Just didn't
I've
make
had
the list.
similar conversations with games like Witcher 3, Cyberpunk, those big, meaty, choice-based RPGs that you can get lost in. And what I tend to find, and this sounds maybe a little reductive, I don't mean it to, but it's just an opinion I hold, which is, like it or not, to really get the most out of those games, to really love Witcher 3 like I and many others do, right? And now a 10-year-old game. You're putting a tremendous amount of time in that game. You know what I mean? You're putting 100 plus hours. Same with Cyberpunk, same with KCD2, same with those games just kind of require that because it's the only way you truly experience the kind of design we're talking about. And so what I used to find with Witcher 3, which I'm now finding with KCD2, is that people will play 10 hours or 15 hours, even 20 hours, which is still a lot of time to put into a game. So I'm not discrediting that, but they develop they formalize their opinion based on that. And it's still sad to say, sounds crazy, I realize, but you haven't really experienced all that game, not even remotely what that game has to offer. And I think that's part of the challenge with these games too, is they're so big, they're so consuming, And to your point, Travis, you have to invest so much to get out of them, which I agree with Hogue. I like that, but I get people who don't. It's really hard sometimes when you can play, you could play 5 games completely for the time that you would have to put into KCD2 to really appreciate it. So I think that's part of the challenge as well.
It's also just wild what people spend hundreds of hours playing. Like I had last Defense Academy or whatever, like there was a whole group of people that were like, yeah, we played that for 100 hours or however long it was. It's like,
I think I told you my current time is 170. Like the Switch doesn't give you more than that, but yeah.
Really?
They were like
stops?
super passionate about it and played it for hundreds of hours or whatever. And
no, it
it's just
doesn't
like,
stop.
okay.
I mean, it doesn't give you more resolution than that. I think it says 170 plus or something like that.
That's what I mean. Like the Switch, it doesn't count above
cutoff.
170.
That's funny.
No, I think it does it by tens after a certain point. Like when I hit 180, it'll say 180 or more.
I gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, but like just hearing from people like that and who put time into stuff, you sort of realize like I'm never going to be a fully informed voter, right? Like I'm not going to be able to spend hundreds of hours in Last Defense Academy and hundreds of hours in Monster Train 2 and blah blah blah. Like the list goes on and on. Like you're just never going to be 100% there. This was the year I had to kind of embrace that, because before I've just been able to play enough of everything to where I've been like, I know what I'm talking about. And this year I was like, apparently I don't. There's just too many games out there that I will never put 100 hours into.
Yeah. Well, that's fine. I don't want to, we don't need to harp on it anymore, but that is my personal game of the year. And I figured we'd talk about it because I know we agreed pretty highly on that one. So
yes, spoilers for my stream yesterday.
That Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is the game of the year. Are all 3 of us here?
Yeah, wild agreement.
It's not even close for me. Like it's so far above.
No, it's kind of close for me.
And that's what I experienced too. Yeah. Was that my top 3 were all kind of in the one spot at various points of the year. But in putting my list together to have the conversation that I wanted to have with Tom, I went back and played all of them. And like, I was surprised at how much Kingdom Come sits above the other 2 in most circumstances. Like there are days when I don't want to play that crunchy CRPG. Travis is right there, but that doesn't take away from what they've achieved with that game. And there are certainly days that I do want to play that. But my top 3, again, spoilers for yesterday's stream, were Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 in the 1 spot, Death Stranding 2 in the 2 spot. And I will tell you, there are a lot of days this year where Death Stranding 2 was in the 1st spot.
I put that on the thumbnail for you, by the way.
Because that game feels amazing so often. But I went back, I played both of them. I was like, what Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is doing is so much more impressive to me than Death Stranding 2. And then in the 3rd spot is Hades 2, which is
nice.
Hades, which was already awesome, but more and even more depth. I prefer the narrative, I think, a little bit more in Hades 1, but I love so much about Hades 2 that it was in the 1 spot for a number of days this year. So those were my top 3, but Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is so special that I want to give it all of the credit that it deserves. And yes, I am not telling Travis that he's wrong on this. One, I'm sure he knows better the internal operations of IGN. What I'm telling him from the outside is, while everything he says makes sense, it's crazy to me that it's not nominated. And I do think that that kind of thought process that I am sure is indicative of what was happening in the room at IGN, I'm not suggesting Travis is lying on this, is to me detrimental to the project of what I think gaming can achieve. And as long as there are big outlets saying, I want it to be superficial fun, I want it to be easily accessible, I want to be able to pick up the controller and immediately enjoy myself in 15 minutes, that's gonna hold down what gaming can do.
Okay. Yeah. Just to be clear, what you're saying is a completely poor representation of everything I said, and clearly over your head, but that's fine. We can move on.
We can let the chat and community determine whether I wrongly hyperbolized Travis's description of what happened in the IGN discussions.
Leave us a comment. Let us know.
Yeah. I was just commenting on the nature of trying to get trying to do the insane act of getting a group of people to agree on anything, or in an absence of that, agree on like the most popular thing. Like it's just how it works, man, when 80 people try to decide on something. So
fair enough. Well, just a couple other favorites to shout out, and we can kind of go a little faster on some of these. I did want to shout out Borderlands 4, of course, one of my favorites.
It's on my list.
Yeah, great time. I've got nearly, I think, 200 hours in that game now. I went back. I did the raid boss last week with some friends. He's okay. He's fine. It's
He was
fine.
shot in the face.
He's fine, like you
apparently.
didn't hurt him.
No, we killed him first try, which, in my opinion, is a problem with a raid boss. That's too easy, right? I expected to get wiped
You
really
don't wanna roll
quickly.
through.
And what happens is you kind of almost can die one by one, and as long as one person stays alive, you can keep coming back. So
That's kind of always been true in Borderlands, though.
I don't
Die
think
and
you
you
can
jump
do
back
that
into the
with.
pit.
I'm trying to remember if you could do that with Terramorphous. I didn't think so. I thought
think
if
you
everyone
could.
died, it was over, unless they
You
changed
could definitely
it later.
do it in all of the raid bosses I've ever fought. Like as long as you staggered your deaths or somebody like quit out and they were able to get back in the arena in time. But they make that hard, right? Like they make the
too
respawn
easy.
timer take
You
how long
spawn,
and you have
like-
to walk to it.
Yeah, this is like you spawn like 5 seconds later, and it's right there. You can jump right back in.
Damn.
You do
okay.
lose a ton of money. I lost millions because I did die a few times.
Yeah, dude.
But
Money's meaningless though in Borderlands, right? Like, what are you using that for?
wasn't worried about it. Yeah, and the loot you got from them was very underwhelming. There was like no loot explosion or anything. It was just like a normal like bloop, and I was like,
That
was
seems
it?
to be a Borderlands 4 problem, as we pointed out after beating the campaign together.
Yeah. So Borderlands 4, I think, is a good one. Travis and I obviously reviewed that together. And then I just wanted to shout out Battlefield 6. I know I'm more of I talk more multiplayer here, but obviously not talking about the campaign. I haven't even played the campaign because I don't care. I don't think Battlefield needs one, honestly. But in terms of Battlefield as a multiplayer game, Battlefield itself as an IP returning, RedSec, everything to do with it, very, very strong. And I believe as of earlier this week, it's the best-selling game of the year, too. So it had a tremendous impact on the year overall. So wanted to shout that out real quick before you guys mention some others. K. Dotman asks about, do you have to play KCD 1 to play KCD 2? I've had this question several times. You do not have to. There is a good 20-minute long video on Warhorse's YouTube channel, which is a story recap of the first one. And other community members have done some really good story recaps as well. I would suggest watching one of those because it is a continuation. Henry is your main character. He's from the first game.
Honestly, don't even think you need it.
Yeah, no, they do a good job of onboarding you with conversations and dreams and things.
They do.
But yes, you probably be advantaged from watching a half hour or even hour long summary of the first one. But you do not need to just play KCD 1.
No,
2 is better in every design element.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, and you're going to need enough time if you really want to play 2. Like I said, big game. So anyway.
Not every design element. I can't be illiterate in KCD 2. It's very disappointing.
That's because you're just not illiterate anymore.
Yeah, I know. It's disappointing. I said what I said.
Shout out some other games, boys. What else?
I want to talk about my favorite cozy game of the year. Fantasy Life I, The Girl Who Steals Time. Kind of forgot I played this game until I was looking over the games I played this year, and I was like, oh man, that game was great. A game I could definitely spend more time with. Super fun. I played a lot of cozy games this year, but I will be honest with you guys, many of them were quite bad. It was not a great year for cozy games. I'll be honest.
Are you telling me Shire is not on your list, Travis?
Shire is not on my list. Yeah.
By the way,
there were just a lot of low quality cozy games.
Yeah, you don't play cozy games. I read on the internet you don't play.
That's right. I forgot about that.
He doesn't have the proper experience.
Yeah, your review of Shire was a sham. I'm just gonna.
Well, it's a sham. Yeah,
put that out there for everyone.
It's fine. But yeah, Fantasy Life I. If you didn't have time to play that one, this is really the perfect time to play a cozy game. You know, stuck indoors. A lot of you probably. You know, just snuggle up with a dragon and feed it items. It's good times.
I mean, as you do. Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
So this one was on Tom's list yesterday, so I actually just got done talking about it with him. But I like this game. I like Level 5 in general. I think I wind up liking Inazuma 11 better than Fantasy Life this year from them.
Oh, hot take.
The reason for that is because I really do think, like, Fantasy Life, what it does well by having the different jobs and RPG on top of that, it doesn't actually distinguish enough to make it seem like fun. So like the mini game that they have for crafting probably should be 5 or 6 different mini games. And so you just kind of feel like you know everything. The RPG story isn't compelling enough to actually drive you through, which is fine. You wouldn't expect it out of a game like this. But
I actually like
the
the
way
story.
that the loop works, you're going to have to advance it to get to the next highest level of wood, so you can get to the next highest level of carpentry, so you can get to the next highest level of whatever else you're doing. So you have to kind of keep advancing this story, which is kind of dumb, in order to do these other mini games, which are kind of the same the whole way through. So it gets a little bit rote to me, but it's got a lot of content in it. It's done fairly well throughout most of it. I just wish it were a little bit better.
Gotcha. So let me ask this. Well, hold on. We'd be remiss. We have to mention Expedition 33, Claire Obscure.
I
have
thought
talked
we
about
hadn't
it.
gotten to most disappointing game yet.
Stop it.
No, that was literally my answer to that question in the prompt.
Was it really?
That's crazy.
Okay.
That's a crazy answer.
Okay.
Well, like I always say, disappointment is a function of expectation. And I had watched these trailers and I'd watched the Vidocs they'd done for this game.
it was your most anticipated.
And I was
remember
so
you
excited about it. I had a paper chain made by my daughters in my room getting ready for the release. And I was so deeply disappointed in the story they chose to tell in this world that I hate as a trope in basically every instance that I see it. And this version of it was so off-putting to me that I really feel like you have to say some really interesting things about the human condition or experience if you're going to do this with the story, and they do not. They are only superficial the entire way. I know people have emotionally reacted to what Expedition 33 does. I don't want to put anybody down who has that emotional reaction. We all do things like narrative media, whether it's books, movies, or video games, in order to feel those feelings. So if you felt that, great for you. I felt exactly the opposite, and it wound up being one of the more hollow experiences that I had. Now, do I think there's great art? Do I think there's great music? Do I think there's great performances in this game? I do. And that's why it's still just off the top 10 list of my year. But it is, without doubt, the most disappointment that I had in 2025.
Well,
You must live a very soft life. I'm happy for you.
We've talked a lot about Expedition, but I feel we needed to mention it. So that's Hogue. I think I've said many times I'm higher on it than Hogue. Really, really enjoyed it. I think it does some things quite well. The art direction is fabulous. I liked the characters. I liked some of the setup moments. I liked some of the boss battles and the way there's some unique things there. I think some of it gets repetitive. I think the overworld is, rather, it's awesome looking, but it's rather bland in terms of what you can find and do. And with you, the story I thought was fine. I definitely don't see the take that people think this is some crazy storytelling or revolutionary thing. It didn't hit me that way at all, but I think it was fine. But I really like the game overall. I thought it was a great game. It got me. I don't typically like JRPGs anymore, like I've said, as much as I used to when I was younger, but it is a JRPG kind of format of that game, which I really enjoyed. And so, yeah, it's up there for me. I don't know where I'd rank it on the year. It's up there. I really enjoyed it. Travis, you haven't finished it yet, right? Where are you at?
I've not finished it. I think I'm probably halfway through it. So far, I love me some turn-based combat. I could see why this won Game of the Year for sure. Performances are quite good. Music is incredibly good.
Music's good.
I'll have more to say at a later date, I'm sure. But yeah, this is just one that was on my list forever, and I didn't have time for it. So I'm gonna finish it probably this week. Definitely this week.
Yeah, we'll talk about it next show. I'm curious because, like, for me, like Act 1, I was really high on it. Act 2, I was quite high on it, and then Act 3 fell pretty flat for me. And so by the time I ended the game, I was lower on it overall than I was as I was playing through it. So I'm kind of curious.
Yeah,
to see
you can definitely get wiped on games, especially games where it's like turn-based games in particular. It's kind of hard to keep that interesting until the end of the game. So we'll see how that goes. But I will say the pacing seems pretty strong. Like I'm getting through it quickly, and I think
it's very fast. It's very.
If I get through so that already is going to be some positive points in my book. Like if I can get through your JRPG and fast are not two terms you hear together very often. So I'm into that. I'm into that dynamic. But yeah, I can understand why this is on people's Game of the Year list. I haven't beaten it yet, so I'm abstaining from that right now. But yeah, so far so good. I mean, it's a great game. Clearly.
Cool. I got a disappointment for you guys. I think, well, I got one of mine and then a community one. So I think Monster Hunter Wilds was a pretty big disappointment
Oh,
for the
interesting.
community. I'm not a big Monster Hunter guy. I knew that going in. I was doing this to play with friends, but it, very, very big hype to release early in the year. And then as the year has gone on, the community kind of turned on that game and it didn't have the depth or the kind of long-term investment that people expected out of a Monster Hunter game. Now that's before their big release last week, which was a big title update they added. So I'm not close enough to the community to know if that's improved it a lot. I would assume it has. But I think that's one I hope to get into more that I didn't. And then my personal disappointment, which sounds weird, but it's probably Doom Dark Ages.
Interesting.
I was very excited, like Hope for Expedition. I think Doom coming into the year was one of my most anticipated. And I do not like the giant mecha levels. I think they're a complete waste of time. I didn't really vibe with that game the way I was hoping to. The loop didn't catch me like 2016 or even Eternal. And then the break for those giant mecha levels and the flying on the dragon level, it's not why I'm playing Doom. It's just not why I'm playing Doom. And I worried about that before release. And when I played it, I was like, yep, I don't like this at all. So I want to go back to it. I have not finished it. I've got a lot to play of it, actually. I want to go back to it, but it just kind of turned me off a little bit.
Interesting. My biggest disappointment is probably Avowed.
That is on my list as well.
Yeah, like just because I really love the Pillars world, and this was sort of being like built up as like the Skyrim competitor, ever since that trailer all those years ago. And it ended up being a pretty forgettable game for me. Not a bad game, just a game I got through and was sort of like, okay, that was the game, moved on. And hadn't really thought of it since, which is really not what you want from your, especially Obsidian games where like story and, you're hoping to have some memorable characters. I can't tell you the names of any characters in that game, like literally any of them. I can't remember.
Bluefish guy.
Bluefish guy, Garrus 2 is I think what we call him. Garrus 2,
Bluefish
Fishy
guy.
Boogaloo. Yeah,
that's his official name, by the way. It's right there on the screen.
yeah, exactly. Like I can't remember. I remember like the basic overarching story in that game, but I don't remember a lot of the characters. And yeah, it just ended up being a really forgettable game for me, which is disappointing because I love Obsidian and I love RPGs, and that game should have been super up my alley. And instead, I just kind of played it and it just passed right through me, man.
It's funny. I think Avowed actually is wound up more impressive to me than I had expected it to be. I
so
like a
really
lot of
low
what
standards.
It's doing.
I
didn't expect
you really
much
thought
from it.
really low expectations. You didn't expect much.
I really didn't like Outer Worlds 1. I never connected with Grounded like you did. So Obsidian had been in the doghouse for a while. Avowed was better than I thought it would be. And then by the time Outer Worlds 2 rolls around, I'm like, wow, okay, Obsidian's got the juice. So that's my year with Obsidian. But Avowed is not on my big disappointments list because I wasn't expecting anything from it.
Yeah, that's fair. And Outer Worlds 2, to that mention too, is one of the games I have that I want to spend more time with. That's one I've really enjoying. I just need to play it more. I haven't played it.
That's the one where after Avowed, I was like, oh, maybe Outer Worlds 2 is not going to be that good. And then Outer Worlds 2 was much better. And I was like, oh, okay, got it. Cool. This was their A team.
Yeah, no, I think that's their Keystone series, I think.
Yeah, I kind of feel like they put, I don't know, I would have expected them to put their A team on Avowed, to be honest with you, just because it's like a kind of well-known franchise, prestige storytelling type stuff. And instead, their A team was clearly on the other game.
Yeah, I don't know.
Which I'm cool with because I love comedy games.
I think Pillars has always had an approachability problem. And then I think if you read the interviews about Avowed, like they had like a multiplayer version of, like, it's one of those rollbacks into single player land, almost like Veilguard. So I think it had a bit of a difficult birthing period, and I don't think the same thing happened with Outer Worlds.
Yeah, it definitely seems that way with Avowed to some degree. Yeah. What else we got out there? A couple quick mentions. Games not to forget about. First Berserker Kazan.
Yeah.
Kazan.
Really good game for that genre. A lot of depth to it. It's a long game, as Travis has talked about on the show a few times. It goes longer than you think. Really cool art styles, great boss battles. So if you're one of those who enjoys that style of game, don't sleep on that one. It's easy to forget about it with the year we just had, but it's a great one. And I also want to shout out Absalom. We've talked about that a few times. If you like side-scrolling roguelites, that kind of play like those old school side-scrollers we grew up playing, but have more depth to them. Fantastic art style, absolutely incredible soundtrack. That should be nominated in every kind of best soundtrack area there is. I think it sadly just didn't hit, to Travis' earlier point, didn't hit the mainstream enough to really get that recognition. But
Absalom is great. I mean, I don't think anything should win
out.
on music over Expedition, but Absalom is great and the music is amazing.
Yeah, it's awesome. I didn't realize, well, I did, but I was playing it last week and I get to a boss battle and I'm like, this boss battle just fucking jams, right? The music. It's Mick Gordon, literally Doom. Like he wrote that song. So you have Mick Gordon and you have I forget his name now, but the composer for the From games as well on the same soundtrack. It's incredible.
No, Absalom is great. Absalom was just off my top 10 list, and I think people shouldn't forget it. If we are moved on to games people shouldn't forget,
go.
I would like to put in a vote for The Root Trees Are Dead and Citizen Sleeper 2 as two narrative, weird indie things that I really loved this year. Root Trees Are Dead is the game where you are essentially a lawyer/investigator that's been charged with figuring out what this family's relationships are to each other so that you can get the estate properly distributed, which, if that sounds horrifically boring to you, I don't blame you. But also you're in the 90s and you have a version of the internet that allows you to go and search for things like music that somebody has made in the family to determine relationships, camera pictures, photos, letters that have been written to editors of magazines, magazine interview articles. You're going through this whole investigation process, and I think it's just a really well done game. The Root Trees Are Dead. Don't skip it. Citizen Sleeper 2, the sequel to Citizen Sleeper, is you are an AI on a spaceship, space base, depending on where you are in the story, and you roll dice in order to determine what you can achieve in these various roles that you have on the starbase, on the spaceship, whatever it might be. Citizen Sleeper 2 takes the ideas from one, kind of broadens them out to give you more mission direction and more characters to interact off of. Really cool little story. Highly recommend it. Again, you have to like reading passages from novellas while rolling dice, but it's a really good game. So I would prefer those two games not be forgotten.
Okay. I've heard great things about both of them. I played a tiny bit of Citizen Sleeper 2. I have not played Root Trees Are Dead, but I've a lot of positivity around both of those this year. So good stuff. Good stuff. One we didn't mention that's very highly reviewed. Silkenet reminded me of it and said they thought it was very overrated, but it's Split Fiction. Feels like that one's kind of gotten forgotten.
I don't think it was overrated. I just think it was up against very stiff competition. It was easy to see it as a game of the year contender early in the year, and then the longer the year went on, the more you were like, probably not.
I love Split Fiction.
Yeah. It's a great game.
I'm just not always in the mood for an action platformer, and it's very difficult to get to, I'm going to say the table because it's what I call it in board game land, but because of the way Hazelight makes these games, you have to have somebody that probably you've already been playing with want to play it at the same time that you do. And that's just a tricky thing for me in my life. I can't speak for everybody, but you just can't interact with these games at all on your own time. So that makes it a little bit harder to recommend.
You can't play a multiplayer game alone. Yeah. That's his complaint.
Yeah.
Well, you can't. Yeah. There's no online. So
no, I get it. It's a tragedy. The IGN discussion on this game was that if there was a category called best final, like 30 minutes to a game, this would be.
I've heard. I haven't played it, but I've heard that the final level is
the last
nuts.
30 minutes. You're like, oh, this should have been the whole game. Like, why wasn't this just the game? And it's amazing, but it's also just the ending of the game. So I think it almost needs its own category for the special stuff it did.
It goes nuts. I think it's consistently compelling and interesting. They're constantly experimenting with what they can do, and it's better told than It Takes Two was. I know that I emphasize narrative and storytelling more than most that are looking at video games, and that's fine. But It Takes Two and The Book of Love and The Bickering Divorcees was just really just not a pleasant place to play a video game for me. And Split Fiction keeps the bickering. It's clear that Hazelight thinks that if you're going to build a co-op game like this, you're probably going to be sniping at each other in the room, and so we're going to have a bickering relationship. But it doesn't have the same kind of overall cloud that the Book of Love presented in It Takes Two to me. So I think Split Fiction is better told. I think it's got a more interesting conceit of science fiction and fantasy meeting. And for those reasons, I like it better than It Takes Two. It continues to be kind of top of class in terms of action gameplay and responsiveness, while also experimenting with what you can do with that same action gameplay. It was on my top 10 list of the year. It was much higher on, as Travis suggests, earlier in the year. As things kind of slotted in above it, it finished at 10th on my list. But I think it's a fantastic game.
Yeah. Awesome. Silkenit says one game that's going to go in the backlog that wish they had known about before is Dead Letter Department. So looking that on Steam, came out in January, very positive reviews, does have a demo on Steam. I don't know if it's on other platforms, but Dead Letter Department, one to check out.
I think I own that one. I think I popped in, said, this is creepy and weird, and popped out.
And then left. There you go. The only other thing I was going to mention is games I want to put more time with. So if there's certain games you're looking forward to spending more time with, obviously, I think I mentioned that Metroid Prime 4, I think I'm getting for Christmas this week, just for the heck of it. So I'll play that one here in the
I don't think that'll disappoint you. Really strong game.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. And then one that I know people who have a ton of time into this and others like me dropped off it pretty quickly was Elden Ring Night Rain, the standoff BR one. So they just had an expansion as well I want to check out. So hope to put some more time into that in the future. But,
I know personally I have a lot more Hades 2 to hit.
Actually, me too.
That thing is just enormous and high quality throughout. So I want to play more Hades 2. I have just above that. It seems like there's always more to play of Kingdom Come Deliverance if you want to go find things, especially with the DLC popping up seemingly every time I pop in. Yeah. But those two are the ones that I want to play more of the most.
Gotcha. Travis, what are you digging into? Obviously, you're playing Expedition, but what else?
I mean, my answer is like all the games I didn't finish that are on lots of people's best game of the year lists. There's just a ton of those, especially after having heard like over 100 opinions of games I should play. However, one that's like pretty easy for me to like commit to playing more of, because I tend to just play it on like planes and in airports and stuff, is Hollow Knight Silk Song, which a lot of people had on their game. Yeah, a lot of people have that on their game of the year list, and I can see the potential there. I obviously know what a Hollow Knight game feels like, and am gonna spend a whole lot more time playing that. And then I also
continue to be impervious to Hollow Knight's charms. So
that's
I bounced off both of them. I've tried them a number of times.
Very cool. I also want to play more Monster Train 2.
Monster Train 2. That's one you guys. Yeah, see, I haven't touched that one, but I know you guys both love it. I've heard nothing but good things.
Monster Train 2 is awesome. Continues to surprise.
We also didn't mention, and I know we talked about previously, Donkey Kong. I don't know where that would land on my top games. Like I said, I wish it had a little more depth in terms of some things of that game, but it is beautiful. It is fun to play. I do want to finish it. I think I'm on, how many levels down were there? 16, 18?
It's 15 levels long. That's not exactly the right question to ask, but it's 15 levels long.
Okay. All right. I think I'm down to 12.
That's one I don't know if I'm going to continue playing. I put like a couple hours into it, and it hasn't clicked with me.
Yeah, I feel like I fully exhausted Donkey Kong.
Yeah, pretty early. I think that's the problem with it, right? Whereas, like, I feel there's certain 3D platformers I can go back to and really enjoy at any time, whereas Donkey Kong, it feels very, I don't know if one note's the right word, but I think you guys know what I mean by that. You seem to kind of do the same thing, just endlessly.
Yeah, it's just a little, like, simple was my experience.
Yeah. But I still loved it. It was cool. All right, boys. What else? Anything else you want to mention from 2025?
Nah.
Interesting year. Had the Switch 2 release. We had Steam announcing new hardware. We got Gears and Halo going to PlayStation.
We had layoffs.
We had a lot of layoffs. That's for
we did talk about that yesterday. Yep. Tom was on my stream.
Okay.
I was going to put that for biggest disappointment, but that feels like a cop-out,
Yeah. No, I get it. Call of Duty bombing. That's another thing that was interesting this year. But anyway.
But in other Microsoft news.
So quickly, let's touch on the Marathon Vidoc, Travis. So And Hogue, obviously, I don't mean to exclude you, but I know this is typically in the.
I didn't watch it, so you can exclude me.
Okay, all right. I was gonna say typically this is in our space. So we've talked quite a bit about Marathon early on. Obviously, Arc Raiders took over that conversation. We know everything that happened with Marathon with delays and whatnot. But in my opinion, Travis, I really like the Vidoc. I think Bungie always does these pretty well when they do these Vidocs for their games. But it really got me interested seeing more of what they've done over the past several months into leading into next year. And I think what I'm starting to see, which I think is the most important discussion, is I'm starting to see how it can carve its own community out separate from Arc Raiders. Because even though they're both extraction shooters, there's a lot of fundamental differences with how they're approaching that genre. And starting to hear about their live events, really the thing for me as always is how deep the loot gets with build and gun customization and optimization. I think is really cool. And I really think that obviously we knew the gunplay was tight, that kind of stuff. That's Bungie. And we've played it. But I think what they're starting to show, I think, is a good foundation for how they can launch successfully, which we didn't know was going to happen 6 months ago. But I really like what I saw, and I'm certainly more interested now than I was post playing it post Arc Raiders.
Yeah. This is one of those things where I think we had disagreed about like how much Marathon and Arc Raiders were actually in competition with each other. And I was of the opinion that they kind of were just very different audiences and could be successful for different reasons. And I think that's more true now than ever, especially with Arc Raiders having somehow become like a PvE game while we weren't looking. It's like the PvP is like an add-on now. And Marathon's very much the exact opposite, right? It's like PvP first. I don't think you're going to be finding like a kind community of people like helping each other out. I think it's going to be like a lot of people shooting you and taking your stuff. And so I think it's going to appeal to a more hardcore audience. It's first person. It's made by people who made their name making arena shooters. And then also the other part of it, which is like the loot game being very differently designed and the like end game secret stuff that only Bungie really seems capable of doing, that they're going to put in their levels. And there's going to be a lot of people like hunting for secrets and unlocking stuff that way. So I think this is a very different type of game than Arc Raiders, despite being in the same category. And I think it can find success. My concern with it has always been just getting people interested in this property that seemingly has really nothing attached to it, because that's the hard part, is like getting people to try your thing. And also just Bungie having a lot of internal problems about like whether or not they could even get this project out the door. So I've had concerns about that, but I do think that them finding like a audience for it is not really the problem, or like having to worry about competing with other extraction shooters. I think that part that is going to be fine. But yeah, we'll see. I'm heartened by it. I'm glad that this game's still coming out. I mean, I kind of assumed, but all of the headlines for like 4 months were just really negative. So you would not you cannot be blamed if you thought that maybe this game was just never happening.
They settled with the artist. That was a big day.
Yeah. I'm reviewing this game, so it's on my list. Oh, by the way, I forgot to tell you guys this. My first review of 2026. You guys ready for the big reveal? You guys, Ains, you watched the Game Awards. Do you remember at the Game Awards when Jeff Keighley was like one more thing, and then he just dropped that high guard?
Oh, high guard.
That went over like a wet fart. I remember I turned to D and I was like, that looks like a weird game. I don't know if that's going to turn out super well. And then got a call the next day, Travis, you're reviewing that game. And I was like, oh boy. So we'll see if that game's good. I'm actually excited to see if it's good. It's interesting.
Okay. Yeah, I mean,
I don't know if you
we talked about, we mentioned it last week. Like, it's got the talent behind it, but it came off weird.
They also they're marketing it as a completely new genre. I can't remember what the genre is. It's something like a fort attacker or something like that, or like they called it some. I could look it up. Tom and I were talking about it this week, but they like don't describe it as just like a team-based shooter or PvP game. They described it as like some other type of genre, and we're trying to figure out if it's just purely marketing speak, because developers do this all the time where they describe their game as like some unknown genre when it's actually not, or if they actually have like something novel and unique to where it's like worthy of giving it a different kind of descriptor. It's weird though. I'm excited for it. It's going to be an exciting review no matter what.
Yeah, I mean, it's free to play and it comes out as of this moment only 5 weeks from now. So, I mean, it's not far
Yeah.
off. So,
I'm be playing it before that, so it'll be
okay.
cool.
All right, cool. Well, guys, been an amazing year for gaming. It's
Agreed.
hell of a lot of games to play, and been as always a fun time going through them with you guys through the year. So, like we said, just to wrap up a few things here, we are off next week. We will be back on January 4th to kind of kick off 2026. But look for the Travis and I's cooking special. We're doing Borderlands this year. We'll see what we come up with. So that'll be not by next Sunday, but the week between Christmas and New Year's. And then, like I said, we're raising money for Extra Life. So the link to the Extra Life is in the description on the Season Gaming side. You can find a link there. Anything is appreciated. And hopefully I can get a stream in here to close out the year as well, a separate stream. Maybe I'll do baby steps as
Travis recommends baby steps.
Travis suggested.
Baby
That'd
Steps
be quite
is
funny.
a fantastic stream game. I might
Yeah.
even tune in for that just to seeing somebody's first time real reaction to playing that game is priceless. It's such good content.
Yeah, so but plenty to play. Thank you, community, for everything as always. Very generous, very kind, and everything else. We don't get a lot of nonsense around here, and so we truly appreciate that. But guys,
Not from anything but the hosts.
True.
Guys, what would you
Very
like to shout
true.
out here?
Oh, well, in terms of my wares, I have mentioned that we just did the stream with Tom yesterday. So I think that's a really good stream if you're interested in an overview of both popular games from 2025 and some random additions from Tom. I think he made a lot of good cases for what's out there. So check out that stream if you're looking to just buy 30 games and you don't have enough that you're already playing. So check that out. Otherwise, I think it's a pretty quiet week here going into Christmas on my channel, and I'm looking forward to maybe getting a chance to step away from work. Who knows? We'll see what the clients say.
Sorry,
Nice.
because I'm mute typing a comment. Yeah, hopefully, I was gonna say hopefully you get a little break there, especially next week. So
You never know. I hope so too.
it's tough when you're in a new job for sure. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
Travis, what you want to shout out, man?
Show me your wares. Yeah, what do I have to shout out? My final review for the year, Destiny 2 Renegades, is out there. I give it a 6. It's not terribly surprising for Destiny, right? 6 feels like the score that game was always destined to have. But yeah, I am not taking breaks during this period, but I am preparing for stuff that's going to be in January. So not a lot I can talk about right now, but next year is going to be very exciting. I have a whole bunch of stuff to talk about and a bunch of reviews at the beginning of the year. High on Life 2, High Guard, some other one I'm forgetting. I've got reviews already. It's going to be fun.
Okay.
So I'll see you next year, and may your family be your family.
The
Sometimes the
robot,
programming just
the robot is failing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There we
Yeah.
go. Just don't know what to say to people around this time of year.
The language.
Happy
model.
Holidays
I
is
hope-
pretty effective.
I hope your family is as close as the Fast and Furious family. That's what I have to say.
Wow, you don't need to curse our audience. Now you say Happy Holidays. Happy New Year.
Okay.
We'll present our wares from the Borderlands cookbook next week.
That's right.
Yeah.
I guess that's the only content I have to promote, right? Come watch Ains and I cook. Ains, do you have wares?
Do I have wares to
Tell me
share?
yours.
Yeah, actually. Well, so the cooking show will be next week. I am supposed to talk about, so I will at some point, this chair that I'm sitting in that Razor sent me. So I'll comment about that. We do have a few reviews this week actually going up over the next couple days on a few games, including we're doing a tech review of Assassin's Creed Shadows on the Switch 2. We've got to look at Sleep Awake, which is Blumhouse's next horror game. So we've got that.
Awake.
Sleep Awake. That's literally the title. Yeah. So there's a couple things coming before Christmas still, and of course we have the SG Honors, which I told you guys about. So I'm actually finalizing kind of all the artwork with our graphic designer right now for that. That'll be going up probably Tuesday, where we celebrate, everything from the year, and that's for all the season gaming contributors, and it's a big team nowadays.
My answers are all the
for us.
correct ones, by the way.
It's going to be an interesting mix. So if you haven't checked that out before, definitely check that out. I'll be posting it up. It'll be a feature on our site here in a couple days. So, but other than that, looking to spend some more time with the games and coming back fresh in the new year. So, remember, comment, shout out to Fish String, says, have a great holiday, everyone. Thank you, my friend. Max, hope you're doing well. Hope you're still out there racing, of course, race car buddy there. So, thank you for that. Appreciate it. Chat, as always, you've been awesome. Thank you for a great year of conversations. Thank you for a great year of hanging out with us. Appreciate you as always. And guys, I think that's going to wrap us up for 2025.
All right.
Yeah, boy.
All right. We will see you in the new year. Happy holidays, everyone. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.